What's up, guys? Anthony Marino, PO broker, PO nerd, fill in the blank. Wanted to just go over one of the biggest things that I think is plaguing business owners um, in all 50 states from my experience. I haven't seen anywhere that's any better at it, or carriers that are any better at it. I'm talking about claims handling. One thing that I notice is a huge common factor among contractors, especially when talking to hundreds of them across the country in my underwriting calls. I've done so many of these underwriting calls, going over claims, basically making the determination if I was going to write the account or not. It's an underwriting call. You get the gist on that. So going over their claims, one of the biggest common factors that I would find um, is it was so common I would put it upwards in the 80% range. I don't want to make up fake statistics, but I would say probably 80% of the claims that I talked about with business owners, they said one thing. They were BS. All across the board. That claim was BS. I hired a guy a week ago, or I hired him for a week. He made a claim. Nobody even saw it. I fired a guy. Comes back and said he got hurt on the job. Nobody saw it. Fraudulent claims, right? We all know what those look like. The guy milks it, goes and gets every test. You know, the ones that really can tear down a loss history report pretty quick. So what's happening here? It's more profitable for the insurance company to just go ahead and pay that and move on. It's not advantageous to the insured themselves, the business owner. Because what that does is it goes on their workers' comp history, it affects their modifier, it affects their capability of getting coverage in the future with other workers' comp carriers. They might not even be a necessarily risky business, and they're going to have issues finding workers' comp because of one guy, only takes one, to run amok with that their workers' comp claim. So how can a PEO be the answer to that? In my opinion, a PEO is the answer to a lot of headaches facing the business owner and the insurance agents and everyone involved. But anyways, how does it help the business owner? So I'm going to do a little bit of an illustration here. I'm going to do my best to look at the camera as I'm doing it. I'm not the greatest at that. But I want to give a little illustration and kind of explain what I'm talking about. So typically, you've got an insurance company, call it Big I, the workers' comp carrier. So your workers' comp carrier, typically the insured has their policy with them. They pay on a variety of different ways to pay, but it's their individual policy, right? So that insured has their own individual policy. So what happens with a PEO? A PEO actually has a master policy that they have with that insurance carrier. I like to use the analogy of kids and their parents. You put the kid up underneath the parents' insurance they get better rates than if they were to go on their own. That's kind of the same type of principle. Just kind of get that in your head. That is the one with the master policy, right? Okay, so in this environment, these guys usually have, I deal with some PEOs that have upwards of $4 billion worth of payroll up underneath of them. Okay, so when a claim happens in this environment, this PEO is on the hook for the first $1 million, typically. I say $1 million because a lot of the ones I choose to work with have $1 million deductible with their carrier. So what's this mean? What does it mean that he has a deductible with their carrier? So this means the insurance carrier has transferred virtually all of the risk down to the PEO. Okay? When I say all of the risk, it's the first $1 million. Less than 1% of all workers' comp claims ever reach $1 million. So that's all the risk. The insurance carrier doesn't have any. They're just collecting premium, right? So the PEO is on the hook for the first $1 million in claims. Okay? They're taking on all the risk. If a $500,000 claim happens on their policy and they have to pay for it, guess who's paying for it? The PEO. So what happens is, and it's just the nature of it, is the PEO takes a vested interest in handling that claim the right way because it's their policy too. Okay? It's their policy too. They're paying for that claim up to the first $1 million. So they're much more willing to fight that fraudulent claim. Most PEOs have the largest denial rates of any other insurance organization there is. They decline to pay for claims if they know it's BS. In ways they do that, they communicate. You actually have a partner in this. They communicate with the employee, with the employer, and they do this so they can actually create a dialogue, come to a real agreement, instead of just paying off that claim, letting this guy sit out there on indemnity. Indemnity is when they're sitting out for over a week and they start getting a paycheck from workers' comp. More nerd speak. There'll be videos explaining things like that later. Most of you know what I'm talking about. If you're watching this, you're probably an insurance agent. So, if you don't understand something I say, just put it in the comments below and I'll further explain. I'll be glad to. I want to actually educate here. So if this makes any sense to you, then why aren't you utilizing this for your distressed accounts? I talk to insurance agents across the country, and so many of them are so uneducated when it comes to this product, and it's a 40-year-old product. And this is the answer to getting these claims under control. It's the answer for these contractors to keep doing business as usual instead of having to have one foot in the glue factory because of a workers' comp claim. This product is the answer. I'd like to help you with that. I want to partner with your agency. I'm the one doing the homework, finding the right programs for the right clients. I want to try to help you keep these clients versus giving them away. Chances are, when you have somebody with all these claims and things like that, you're just going to give it away. You're going to write it with the state fund, or whatever. But I'd like you to really explore this option. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about it. 727-900-2120. That's 727-900-2120. And I'd love to chat with you. If you have a distressed account you want me to take a look at, some questionable loss history that you want me to dive into and see what kind of program we can put together to get this guy back on track. I want to say one more thing. Getting back on track. When they go with this product after all that's already happened, after insurance carriers already paid for all their claims and screwed up their history, what can you do at this point? Well, going to the PEO is the answer to that point too. So when you go into this relationship, okay, you might have this nasty modifier. When you go into this relationship, you're going to be kind of taking on a couple options, but most of the time you're going to be taking the modifier of the PEO. And also, they don't have to use your modifier in your pricing. They have the ability to price as they wish, which usually means it's a lot cheaper. I won't say a lot cheaper, but they typically discount their premium enough to make a lot of sense, at least soften the effects of the modifier. So what it does when you go into that relationship is it actually gives the insured's modifier time to cool down, right? With this claims handling the way it is, it's going to cool down. Those fraudulent claims aren't going to keep happening. So the business owner, they have a chance to get things back under control. And then, if later on, which they probably won't, the retention for PEOs is outstanding. But if they do, if they want to go back out to the standard market later on after they're all rehabbed up, then they're going to have a much nicer picture on their claims history. And it'd be like they went to rehab for their workers' comp claim problem. They come out a brand new man. So I want to talk to you, the insurance agent, business owners, you name it. I'll get on the phone with anybody to educate. 727-900-2120. You can email me at anthonymarinopeo@gmail.com, or you can get me on my LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on there when it comes to business. Hope you have a good one, guys. Enjoy it.